I didn't want to see anybody, especially not my landlord's nasty young wife.
Alec, Tuesday.
Look, enough, okay? Steve handles the rent, so you can feed your crap to him.
I suddenly had extra reason to get away from her. I had thoughtlessly ingested a substance.
Like the rent's not low enough.
I had gotten remarkably little information from Vernon about what this drug would do.
You could even be a bike messenger and come up with that, really.
What if it was a hallucinogen?
It's pathetic.
Oh my God. Listening to her rag if I were tripping, I'd jump out a fucking window.
Hello? Are you listening to me? Do you get it? You are gonna be out on the streets.
And then I felt it.
You don't have a place to live.
I was blind, but now I see.
What's wrong?
What?
You don't like me, and I don't blame you. You see a self-defeating, energy-sucking piece of shit who's sponging off your husband. You're wishing I'd blow my brains out, but my existence shouldn't make you this upset. What is it?
That's none of your business.
Something wrong in law school?
How do you know I'm in law school?
People who aren't usually don't carry around dry, academically constipated books about a dead Supreme Court justice.
You're a creep, aren't you? You've been following me.
No, I just noticed the book.
You just saw the corner of it. How did you know that?
I'd seen it before, 12 years ago in college. Sitting on the couch of a TA I was trying to make, waiting for her to come back out of the bathroom, hoping she'd have a condom. Somehow my unconscious had served that up. A memory I'd never even recorded. Or was it there the whole time, and all I needed was the access?
If you're writing a paper, that's not the book I'd use.
Well, who asked you?
Hastings has his oral history. I'd start there. Interesting point. Grammatically, this guy was an idiot, which sort of gives credence to the theory that one of the clerks he had fired actually wrote most of this guy's major opinions. You could Google the clerk's sons. They'd love to talk to you, exonerate their dad. That'd give you something that no one else has.
Information from the Odd Museum show, a half-read article, some PBS documentary. It was all bubbling up in my frontal lobes, mixing itself together into a sparkling cocktail of useful information. She didn't have a chance.
What
Home. But it couldn't be my home, could it? I mean, who would live like this? My first thought, torch it. But saner heads prevailed.
What was this drug? I couldn't stay messy on it. I hadn't had a cigarette in 6 hours, hadn't eaten. So, abstemious and tidy? What was this? A drug for people who wanted to be more anal retentive? I wasn't high, wasn't wired, just clear. I knew what I needed to do and how to do it. combined with an unprecedented surge of motivation, enabled me to finish the book in 4 days. A tablet a day, and what I could do with my day was limitless. I learned to play the piano in 3 days. Math became useful and fun.
I'm all in.
Even half listening to any language, I became fluent.
Donc vous me dites que tout auteur qui mérite statut adjectif comme orwellien, decandien.
Research on Aunt Helen's tumor, and it's totally clear that anybody with familial abdominis polyposis should be supplementing platinum-based doublet regimens with icos and pentoic acid. I suddenly knew everything. About everything. Sure, you get a short-term spike, but wouldn't that rapid expansion devalue the stock completely in 2 years?
No, because there are safeguards.
Against aggressive overexpansion? There aren't, because there are no safeguards in human nature. And we're wired to overreach. Look at history, all the countries that ever ruled the world. Portugal with its big, massive navy. All they got now are salt cod and cheap condos. The Brits, now they're just sitting on their dank little island fussing over their suits. No one's stopping and thinking, hey, we're doing pretty well. We got France, we got Poland, we got a big Swiss bank account. You know what? Let's not invade Russia in the winter. Let's go home, let's pop a beer, and let's live off the interest.
Yeah. My brain was just pouring this stuff out. Everything I'd ever read, heard, seen was now organized and available. Here it is, here you go.
Eddie, hey, listen, I'm sure you have a portfolio, but if you don't, I'd be very interested in working with you.
Okay, Kevin. I made some new friends who invited me to the beach. The beach was not nearby. All my fear, all my shyness, gone.
They've done 4 basic trials. This is phase 3.
But mere lounging wasn't enough. Only problem? If I wasn't moving forward, I felt like I was going to explode. Anybody ever jump?
Are you crazy? He's gonna do it.
He's not gonna do it.
Oh my god.
And then I began to form an idea. Suddenly, I knew exactly what I needed to do. It wasn't writing. It wasn't books. It was much bigger than that. But it would take money to get there. In a down market, no one was making much. But no one had NZT.
In an optimistic scenario, gains of that nature merely would reflect growth in the economy and would not pose an obstacle to what is expected.
Armed with Vern's last $800, I made $2,000 in a day.
Next day, 7,500. It was too slow. I'd need more capital. My new friend, Kevin Doyle, showed me how you could leverage 2.5 times your cash at a day trading firm. I've been upping the dose for over a week. It seemed to cut my learning curve.
Why are you buying that? The CEO was just indicted.
But not for the big fat defense contract he bribed his way into. That's still on. Should be announced next week.
I was jacked in, booted up. At the end of the week, my brokerage account contained over $2 million. Word quickly got out.
You have 19 messages.
4 job offers, my bank raising my line of credit, a reporter from the New York Post.
Really call me back, Mr. Mora. No one makes money that fast. This article's gonna get written with or without you.
And finally, Kevin Doyle trying to sound casual.
Eddie, I was talking you up to my boss, and, well, the impossible happened, bud. We got you a meeting with Carl Van Loon.
Carl Van Loon wants to meet you.
Apparently so.
You're not in the finance game. What can you do for Carl Van Loon?
Signore Marra, buonasera.
Ah, buonasera.
Come va?
Allora, belle tagliate, palle di porzione. Locale vero?
Sì, certo.
Ma spero non troppo, che non sia della piazza.
No, è dal contadino.
Ah, molto
Grazie.
bene, grazie mille.
Since when do you speak Italian?
Oh, self-improvement month. I guess somebody gave me a wake-up call.
I hope you didn't do it for me.
No, I just wanted to apologize to you, Lynn. And let you know that apparently my capacity for self-sabotage wasn't boundless after all. The real question is, why did you ever put up with me?
I was in love with you. So when does the book come out?
Next year. How's your new assistant?
She's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, are you gonna get a new
You know,
car?
I'm really happy you're here with me.
I'm proud of you. And... a little intimidated.
Hey, Carl. Good to see you.
How are you, Eddie?
So, Eddie Mora. What's your secret?
Medication. I'm on special medication.
Okay.
Well, it's a formula with a complex method. But of course, research was a component, massive research. I knew every helix of every scrap of DNA in every company I bought. Paper stacked like the Himalayas in my office. And you know what?
The stocks went up.
By a hair. Sure, stocks rose, but who wants to do all that work for a shitty little uptick? It's not the visceral kind of spike you want in short-term holding, so I dispensed with all the hard statistics, and I went right to the rumor mill.
So you bought your stocks based on what? The tom-toms beating in the street?
Sure. I mean, share prices aren't really based on how a company works. It's about how mass psychology works. So if I found certain algorithms in the perception of the stock...
Pattern recognition. That's your single.
Well, not everybody understands the patterns. And that gave me a little bit more of an uptick, but it's just a parlor trick. So then I went on to door number 3.
Are you really implying that you have some sort of ultimate formula?
Well, from 12,000 to 2.3 million in 10 days.
I do have a formula, Mr. Pierce.
Delusions of grandeur.
I don't have delusions of grandeur. I have an actual recipe for grandeur.
I don't know who you are, Eddie, or what your game is, but I'm sure of one thing. You don't work in my world. I'm up to my ass with investment guys, and you don't have their half-terrified, half-cocky line of crap, which is not to say that I like yours any better, but you obviously pick your stocks in a way which I haven't seen before. Take a look at these companies. Tell me what you think.
Right now?
Yeah, take your time.
Sure.
These companies aren't the question, are they?
Explain.
Unless you're playing both sides of the fence. Control the whole power enchilada. But no, these companies wouldn't get you there in emerging markets. You would have to... Oh, whoa. Well, this must be some big-ass merger you're contemplating. And there's really only one company with enough bling to justify a merger with Van Loon Associates.
Who have you been talking to?
Oh, I'm just connecting the dots. Is Hank Atwood really going to go for it?
Well, you're an amazing con artist, so you're a very smart young man.
I mean, come on, the two of you together? The whole world would have to come begging for energy like Oliver Twist in his bowl of gruel.
Well, now you're going backwards. What else you got?
A prediction. It won't come off.
Why is that?
You'd have to back off Libya.
Really?
Well, you don't want to hear this from some schmuck who needs a ride home.
All right, you get your shot. Meet me tomorrow at the St. Regis at 10 and tell me how the gutsy little schmuck who needs a ride home would restructure these deals. And you better be prepared.
I'm at your disposal.
You don't really live here, do you?
Well, the Spartans weren't big on amenities.
Yeah, and they eventually got their asses kicked.
I didn't go in. I wanted to walk, move, digest, ingest. There are moments in life, moments when you know you've crossed a bridge, your old life is over. Van Loon was my bridge. I finally had my shot. Wall Street would provide my nest egg. But then how far could I go? CEO? A global force? Maybe president? Time somebody shook up the free world and got things done. Suddenly, there was another skip. How had I gone the last 20 blocks? I got another 10 blocks. And then, I was way uptown. What bar was this?
South side of the go is where I reside in. You can start shaking, shake your little thing. And then he was just you ever meet that? I actually went there at lunch. I went back. Find Lindsay Rolling. It's like nothing.
A fight? Don't know how to fight. Or do I?
You have to know, Eddie, I wrote you off.
I was sick.
You don't get sick. You're playing at this level, you get hit by a fucking car, you don't even die.
You're absolutely right.
I know I'm right. I mean, I didn't know who or what I was talking to.
105. That's what you were talking to, Carl. Delirium.
Mm-hmm.
I sent over my revised projections.
I didn't ask for your projections.
I know, but I think if you take a look at them...
I already have, as a matter of fact. I fired a few people over your projections.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're relieved that you know things my team missed. The minute, the instant, that's no longer true.
2 months after I'd started NZT, I was brokering the biggest merger in corporate history. Ironically, it's going to be crude. Crude is going to be where we're going to hit them, which yields a prospective profit of 200%. That makes both of us very happy campers. I found that if I maintained an even dose, remembered to eat, drank no alcohol, the blackouts didn't recur. Tom, is it possible to construct an imperceptible compartment?
In this jacket?
In all of them.
Certainly, sir.
Safer though my stash now was, I was not sitting around until it ran out.
Well, can I combine these ingredients in the same exact quantity? Yes, but the exact method of delivery to the brain, darts at a dartboard.
Meaning?
Clinical trials, guinea pig people.
That's gonna take too long.
That's what it is, or you'll kill people. But you need 12 to 18 months.
I'll give you $2 million if you can do it in 6. I couldn't keep this quiet on my own. Enter Morris Brandt, the most lethal lawyer in New York.
You're lucky somebody wiped the room. It's weak circumstantial at best. Just between us. Were you there?
I don't remember.
I don't want to make concessions to you.
Carl Van Loon and Hank Atwood had no idea I might soon be charged with murder.
The landscape will have changed. But Psycorps, Andine, and others are jockeying for the same industrial concessions in Libya that both our companies are pretending we're not sniffing out.
How do you know this?
The governmental bribe system is itself corrupt, so of course information about its inner workings, like anything, can be bought.
Go on.
If you take a look at the lower left-hand column in 2008, 5 companies were jockeying for position before we even took notice. Jesus, he looks frail.
Could be an act.
He's not even 60.
So have you decided, Eddie? What are you gonna do?
This is over?
I don't know.
You haven't given me the answer.
You haven't asked the question.
Well, given the scale of my contribution, let's say 45.
Done. $45,000. 40 million's plenty, Eddie. There's a lot more where that came from. You know, Eddie, it may be on your mind that you're not going to continue to work for me anymore.
This has been a learning experience in my life.
I hope it has. I hope you don't think you've gotten enough from me. On to the next.
Well, in order for a career to evolve, I'm going to have to move on.
That you would even think that would only show me how unprepared you are to be on your own. I mean, you do know you're a freak. Your deductive powers are a gift from God or chance or a stray shot of sperm or whatever, or whoever the hell wrote your life script. A gift, not earned. You do not know what I know because you have not earned those powers. You're careless with those powers. You flaunt them and you throw them around like a brat with his trust fund. You haven't had to climb up all the greasy little rungs. You haven't been bored blind at the fundraisers. You haven't done the time in that first marriage to the girl with the right father. You think you can leap over it all in a single bound. You haven't had to bribe or charm or threaten your way to a seat at that table. You don't know how to assess your competition because you haven't competed. Don't make me your competition. Now, I'll open up a line of credit for you. You'll be wanting a few toys.
Hotel rooms were no longer an option. What I needed was a bunker.
There's a built-in safe, central surveillance, vault-grade pneumatic doors. It's an unparalleled 3-tier security system. A fortress with a hell of a view.
What's the asking price?
8.5.
I'll take it. Carl?
Mr. Mora.
What a surprise. They told me somebody from Ivan was coming.
Of course, yeah, that's me now. I'm moving out of the energy business.
Come on. That's like half moving out of the mansion.
Yeah, I bought Ivan a couple of months ago. I'm surprised you didn't hear.
No. They really keep me hopping here.
Well, it's going to pay off, Senator Mora. The Senate, well, who knows? Everything's a technicality from here on in, isn't it, Eddie? I think we both know where it's headed, if you can maintain. Have you asked yourself what you're going to do when you run out?
What did you know?
Does it matter? I know now. I wish you'd come to me at first, Eddie. I could have bought Ivan at 33 a share. We could have been partners.
So, Ivan makes NZT.
Well, it'll never officially exist. Obviously, I don't need to point out the advantages for you.
Oh, I think maybe you do.
Limitless supply. We know you can't get any more.
You sure about that?
They shut down your lab this morning. Eddie, I just want to help you, that's all. Keep you supplied, no disruption in service. Give you peace of mind, that's all.
And in return, I do what?
Get a little advice, maybe. I won't be bothering you much at first.
And later, what are you going to be bothering me with?
Well, given where you're heading, some of our ideas are a bit ambitious, but hey, I think they're achievable.
And what if I don't like your ideas?
And then we'll say, Godspeed, and your candle will have shed a brief but lovely light. But you know what, Eddie? Let's not even go there right now. Right now, I just want to keep you brilliant and healthy. Come on, let's go get some lunch.
After you, Senator.
Thanks for stopping by, Carl.
Give us a second. What are you doing? Do you want to be president of the United States or brain dead, stuck full of tubes?
I'll take my chances.
I told you, your chances don't exist. We shut down your lab.
You don't think some smartass in NZT might have 2 or 3 or even 4 labs?
So what? You're not making any more.
That's right, I'm not. I thought better of it. See, once you know what's in it, you can tweak it, re-engineer it, get the bugs out, taper off. I'm off it, Carl.
Well, on it or off it, there's no scenario where you're not working for me.
How are you going to pay me? In cigarettes? Last year, you traded inside information 17 times. Blank checks from Dubai, dumping in Chile, disappeared officials. I mean, you shed a spotlight.
You want to go to war with me?
Away. And trust me when I say this, I'm not even being creative.
There's no way you can be making accusations like that and be walking around alive.
But you would even think that shows me how unprepared you are to fight me.
You're no longer equipped to
I
fight
may be off
me.
it. You think I didn't learn anything? That my synapses didn't change? That I kept absolutely nothing?
You have no idea what kind of enemy I can
That
be.
van's gonna rear in that taxi.
What?
The driver's distracted. He's texting. He's going 30 miles an hour. He's 60 feet to stop. He doesn't have room.
What the?
I see everything, Carl. I'm 50 moves ahead of you and everybody else. What makes you think I don't have a guy with a beat on you right now? How do you know you're going to be alive this time next year?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Something's pumping at half mass in there. Walls of your heart are dilated. Aortic valve stenos. You're going to need to get that replaced. But you already knew that. You know, you should really be glad about this. Because me working for you, you'd end up as my bitch.
Maybe we should cool off, talk again.
I don't think so. Don't forget to vote.
Edward, you good?
Yeah. Told you I have a lunch.
Hey, don't worry. How's your day going?
I've had better.
I still can't deal with that haircut. I wouldn't even recognize you in the street.
Well, I'm a new man.
I've already ordered.
大单面2个主要兵青冲下轮下，全部也给我围巾噶。
围巾会保护你的衣服。
可是没把我当脏做啊。What?